Hello everyone, welcome to the JD Theory. Today we will be going through every single match on WWE's latest premium live event, Survivor Series WarGames. This just took place over the weekend at San Diego, and I'm going to assign a grade to each of these matches ranging from F to S. At the end of the video, I'll assign a grading to the event as a whole, so stick around for that. Like, subscribe, comment your grades for Survivor Series down below. Without further ado, let's jump right into the first match on the card, the Women's War Game match. We start this match with Charlotte and Asuka, and as you all know, team members would flood in every few minutes until all 10 women are in the ring. So before the match officially starts, we see big entrance after big entrance with a ton of notable spots coming from each of these competitors, most notably Rhea Ripley. Her star presence is perfect. She came with all the weapons, the fit with the Terrifier mask, and looked great in ring. Also, Becky Lynch had a great moment getting in Charlotte's face. We also get Lash Legend as the final entrance. This would kick off the match. And for her first match as a member of the main roster, she certainly shows up being physical and dominant. Her face-off with Rhea was a big sign of confidence from the WWE, having her in such a moment. And for a bit, the heels would look unstoppable until Asuka would go for the mist, but accidentally sprays it at Lash. Charlotte and Rhea would take advantage of this, giving the babyface team control. Io Sky, she hits a wicked swanton with a trash can from the top of the cage, wiping out the heels. Becky would be the only one spared, but now she's left in a 1v5 scenario. Of course, this wouldn't end well for her as she's hit with the Riptide by Rhea. And she's then, after that, even tapped out by AJ Lee, who locks in the Black Widow. It was a really fun match, great spots, all the bells and whistles. Overall, I'm going to give this match an A. It was a great way to kick off the show and really set the stage for the rest of this event. The WarGames match stipulation still feels really fresh and exciting to me, and though some will argue the build-up didn't warrant a WarGames match, the result was still a heck of a lot of fun. A strong start to the card, and before we get into the men's War Game match, we have two title matches to discuss. Next, we have Dominic Mysterio challenging John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. In terms of the story being told and the stakes at hand, this was absolutely the match I wanted to see the most. Though the build had limited segments, I believe the care WWE put into each moment leading up to this really hit the mark. John Cena is, of course, defending his newly won Intercontinental title, which he defeated Dirty Dom for in Boston on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, as for the match itself, it certainly delivers. Dom plays his part so well, taking early advantage by way of Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez at ringside. This match really outdoes itself with very unique spots involving Dominic seemingly botching a Hurricane Rana. For a minute or two, I was fully convinced this may have ended tragically, but wow, the Judgment Day attacks Cena, and it ends up eating a Tahana bomb and the Pop Rocks, and when Dom springs back to life like nothing happened and hits the 619, I really thought he had this one. Which, of course, now we know he did have this one, but the one thing about this match that has me a little iffy is the ref not counting the pin. Of course, we know how heavy Dom was leaning into shenanigans, but I personally believe that if there's a pin going on and the ref sees it, he should be counting. And if he's not going to be counting and knows there's been foul play, he should call a disqualification. But besides that personal gripe I had with the spot, the rest of the match would continue to be fun. We get a big false finish with the FU, another one with a second 619, and even an attitude adjustment before we get to the end stages of this match. and we would have a big ending as well. Finn Balor and JD McDonough run after the ref is knocked out, but Cena, he would take care of them pretty quickly. And after one more AA, there's no ref in sight. But we do get the long-awaited return of Liv Morgan. And after a fake betrayal of Dom, she would hit Cena in the nuts and crack him with the title belt. WWE's Bonnie and Clyde rekindle, and Dom would win back the belt after one final 619 to Frog Splash. And despite me having a small issue with the context of this crazy match, I really have no choice but to give this an S-tier grading. I was on the edge of my seat this entire match. We saw a huge return. We saw everyone run in you could imagine, and a bucket load of creativity in the ring. What more can you want? This match has it all. And Dom winning at the end kind of cancels out my issue with the no pin spot, since the result worked out anyway. Now, I'm fully aware that we spent a lot of time in this video just talking about this one match, and truthfully, it's for good reason. This was far and away the biggest win of Dominic's career so far. And after this, Cena has one final date left. Thank you, Cena, for everything. And while I did hope and predict he'd enter his final match with the IC belt, I'm just so grateful for the performance, the moment, and every last second we have of John Cena in the WWE. Saturday night's main event will be a huge event to look forward to, but before we get ahead of ourselves, there are still two more matches on this card we need to discuss. First of which being Stephanie Vaquer defending her Women's World Championship against Nikki Bella. And unlike most Vaquer matches, this starts at a very fast pace. Nikki is taking a much more aggressive style, and it has definitely worked to her benefit both in a character sense and an in-ring sense. This match does have a good pace and it has fun spots. The crowd even erupts in disappointment when Nikki Bella rolls away to avoid the Devil's Kiss for the first time. We also see Bella kick out of an SVB, which is rarely seen, and we would see Stephanie retain after a Devil's Kiss on the announce table, then in the ring, then a corkscrew splash to finish the match. Overall, I'm feeling another A grading here. Maybe I'm feeling extra generous since it's Thanksgiving weekend, or maybe because this is the second to last card John Cena will ever be a part of. Well, that's neither here nor there. I do think this was Vaquer's best performance at a premium live event thus far. And for her to get such a performance out of Nikki Bella, it really speaks to her abilities. This was also the strongest we've seen Nikki Bella booked, and I now see more clearly why WWE has such confidence in Vaquer, and I hope her title reign continues going in this direction. After this, we are left with just one more match, the main event, the men's WarGame match, which would start with CM Punk against Braun Breaker. They would have a great back and forth, but by the time McIntyre comes in, all I can think to myself is how strong this heel team is. A collection of absolute monsters. And Logan Paul. But jokes aside, all the guys are huge, and they're certainly using their size to their advantage with a ton of powerful slams and suplexes throughout this match. We see Cody have a wonderful high-flying entry while his teammate Punk's face is busted open. I mean, the Doomsday Device 2 on Breaker also looked extremely nasty, and I must say this is one of the most brutal matches I've seen in WWE in quite some time. Cody also gets busted open before this match officially begins, and by the time Bronson Reed has tsunami'd all the baby faces, the heels just appear to be indestructible. I mean, we got Jey Uso running his entrance back. That was hilarious, especially since we all knew Brock Lesnar was next and he's going to run through these guys. But once we finally get Brock and Roman, things take a very interesting turn. Brock would meet the Tribal Chief outside of the ring before the bell rings, so that it's within the rules of the match. He eats a few Superman punches on the outside, but ultimately he ends up F5ing Roman Reigns through the announce table. Good Lord. Once again, Brock drags Roman back to the ring, and we finally have this match officially underway. Heels are looking so strong here. Logan even obtains brass knuckles from Paul Heyman through the cage, but this would backfire as Roman, he would get his hands on them, and he begins unleashing extra-loaded Superman punches. We even see him get back at Lesnar, spearing him through a table. The spots in this match have been monumental. And at the end, things would get really interesting as we see a masked man in all black enter the cage, hitting Punk with a stomp. This would give Braun Breaker a layup for a super sped spear to win the match, pinning Punk. Could that have been Seth? Is he injured? Was the betrayal a fake out? Was the injury a fake out? Was that somebody pretending to be Seth? So many questions arrive from this ending, and I loved it. I'm going to give this an S tier as well. This match, it just did it for me. The big names, the big moments, the big ending, it all just works, and it works so well. The heels needed this win, and Breaker winning the match was a huge nod from WWE. Now, despite this card being really short in terms of matches, the matches themselves justify the length. This and Crown Jewel have been back-to-back amazing premium live events. Even the Saturday night's main event in between them was the best one yet. Creatively speaking, we've recovered greatly from the midsummer slump. That just leaves us with one final grading to assign. Yes, the event itself, which you can probably guess. I'm going to give this an S. That's right, Survivor Series WarGames 2025 in San Diego was an absolute banger of a show. Everything that happened leading up to this event and the event itself was electric. It just felt special. Now, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you find my gradings to be overly generous? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, share it with other professional wrestling fans, and stay tuned. I cover Monday Night Raw every single week, and I have a feeling the Monday following this event will be something to look forward to. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye-bye.